The Mario Party series is known for hosting fun 4-player minigames like Book Squirm and Sandwich. They all offer a fair contest of either skill or luck. But there are some minigames that aren't always even for everyone playing. I'm talking about the 1v3 minigames. 1v3 minigames contain some of the most unbalanced minigames, where some are in favor for the single player and others in favor to the team of 3. It also depends on how well the players and computer players work well together. Today, I want to cover all of the 1v3 minigames from every N64 Mario Party game and rank them in terms of if they are in favor towards the 1 player, the team of 3, or if the minigame is actually even grounds for both sides. I recently just played through all of the minigames with 3 human players and 1 hard computer. I understand that it depends if there's CPUs or not, and if the skill level of the humans playing really help determine what team may be winning the minigames. Now, before we start, let me just say that this is my personal ranking based off my own experience and skill level in minigames. Let me know in the comments below how well your thoughts are regarding some of the minigames. The tier list I created for this has 5 groups. They are completely in the single player's favor, partially in the single player's favor, even playing field for both teams, partially in the 3-man team's favor, and completely in the 3-man team's favor. And with that out of the way, let's begin. Pipe Maze, a very fun minigame where 3 people get to stand there and look pretty, doing absolutely nothing, because they're all at the mercy of the 1 player who gets to control what pipe the treasure chest is going to go down, and all they can do is hope that the single player made a mistake and maybe they'll get the money. Yeah, this one's definitely on the side of the 1 player. Bash and Cash. Do you have some pin-up anger caused by Bowser always just screwing you over? Well, now you get to have sweet revenge on another player in a Bowser costume. Bash and Cash is a brutal massacre on the single player, who just gets bullied by the other team as they hit the 1 player with a hammer. But the fun doesn't even end there, as every time the single player gets hit, they lose a coin bag from their coin count. Anyone then can just pick up the coin bag and then gain some of that dough. The single player can try to collect any bag they lose, but yeah, good luck when they have 3 ravenous players who only want the money from your Koopa Bank. To add salt on the wound, this minigame during a board play also makes a single player lose coins towards their coin count for the minigame star. This minigame is completely in favor of the 3. Bowl Over. The single player gets to control a Koopa shell and bowl down the 3 players, who can only hop around as a little pin just to avoid being hit. Any player hit by the shell will lose 5 coins, which goes to the single player. Even though the pin players can hop around, the space they are allowed to hop around in is super limited. The invisible barrier is so small around them. What stinks is, even if you dodge the shell, you don't even get any coins. You're just playing for survival to only not lose money. Now, the single player can mess up and hit some walls, which will just end the game completely. Everything in this game is up to their control. All I have to say is, I guess the team of 3 is just lucky that the bowler isn't using a blue Koopa shell. Coin Block Bash. 3 players have to continue to jump to break blocks for money, while the other player gets to smash it with a hammer. And then in just 1 strike, any block will be destroyed, dropping either a single coin or a coin bag for anyone to pick up. That's right, anyone to pick up. So, if you're one of those 3 people without a hammer, just play it smart and let the other guy do all the hard work for you, and then you can reap the rewards. Or the player with the hammer can just swing you away, sending you to the other side of the map. This one's very chaotic. Also, anyone could just jump or punch the guy with the hammer, attacking them, sending the hammer flying for anyone to pick up, giving you the power of the hammer. This one's a chaotic one. I would say it does go a little into the favor of the 1 player, just because they have the hammer at the start. But this one's actually kind of fun. Tightrope Treachery. The single player is on a tightrope trying to make it all the way to the end before the timer runs out, all while the other 3 players are sailing in their little ships, firing cannonballs at them. This one, I would say, is kind of in the middle, honestly. I will say it's a little harder for the team of 3 to hit the single player with the cannonballs, just because the whole time when they're trying to aim, they're also being like pushed away by a wind. But the rope is also swaying for the single player. And then there's also these like really annoying times where like even if you do hit the single player, they don't get like stunned or anything. They can still walk, and then you just give them iframes. But I don't know. I feel like I just got to put this in the middle because otherwise Mario Party 1 will not have anything that's considered somewhat fair. Tug of War. I would say there are no true winners in this game. We're all losing something, and that something is the skin on the palm of our hands, trying to rotate the stick to see which team will pull the other team into the pits of the Grand Canyon. Team of one is in a Bowser suit once again, trying to outpull the other team. I don't really know, like, if there's ever been research to see, like, how much the one side like is able to pull versus each of the other three, like, or the stick rotations, the different sizes or something comparatively. I'm not sure, but I always find that this game will either end in a tie, or most of the time I think it's the team of one that takes it. Maybe it's just because it's easier for one person to do it versus like having to work together with three people, making sure everyone is pulling their weight. So I'm gonna give this slightly to the one. Crane game. Another mini game where the team of three are just sitting there looking pretty, doing nothing. Well, I guess in this case they could wiggle around, but the one player has all the power in this one. They are the crane. They can choose whatever they want, which if they're choosing the coin or the coin bag, I have questions about their intelligence. The chest will give you 10 coins. Now, nabbing a player will give you a third of whatever coin count they have at the moment. So if you're playing this on the board and, you know, they have a good amount, it might be worth going after them. Piranha's Pursuit. Alright, now this one really just comes down to the skill level of the one player. I would say this one is completely in favor towards the one. I don't care, you're the one who can control if you're going to win this or not. Because all the other three people are doing are just ground pounding, making that piranha plant get a little bit bigger while it chases you. But honestly, it's doing nothing. You don't even have to grow it, and if the other player fumbles, it's over. This one's a really stupid minigame, and I really question why they brought this back in Superstars. Even so, more than Tug of War, honestly. Paddle Battle. There are no true winners in this game. Wait a minute. Haven't I heard that before? That's right. Just like Tug of War, we're all spinning that stupid control stick, losing our skin off the hand, just for a few coins. In this minigame, you're both on a raft, one team on each side of the raft, trying to outrow the other team. If you're successfully able to outrow the other team, their side of the raft will be next to an island where they get to meet one of my favorite little friends, Spear Guy, where he, just like his name, will spear that guy, forcing them to cough up some coins and go to the other side. I would say this one, just like Tug of War, is also more in favor towards the single player, only because I feel like a lot of times it's easier to outrow the other people. And just in general, like, if you get a lot of coins on one side, you could get 3 coins every time you hit the other team. Meanwhile, you lose 3 coins is true if you get hit, but the team of 3, they're working hard for like 1 to 2 coins, because usually this game goes back and forth so much that if like the team of 3 does win, they probably only like hit the other person like once or twice. So yeah, they're only gonna each get like 1 or 2 coins. It sucks. It really does. Coin Shower Flower. Oh my gosh. As far as unfair minigames go, this one takes the cake. In this one, the single player is on top of a giant flower, and coins are just raining down on them. They're trying to move around the flower, tilting it if they have to collect as many coins as possible. Meanwhile, the team of 3 is just sitting there, waiting for one little coin to fall into the water below so that they could collect it. And mind you, they're not even working together. So they're kind of fighting against each other, trying to get those few coins in between that fall off the flower. And get this, the one player can end the minigame whenever they want. As soon as they fall in the water, that's it. The game is over. And so if like you're trying to prevent someone from getting any coins at all, you can just plop into the water. What makes it even worse though is the amount of coins a single player can get. They could get up to like 30 plus coins if they're good enough. Oh my god, it's so sickening when you're not the one person on this game. It's like you're the king and they're like the little peasants going, "Please, sir, may I have a morsel of coins for my wallet?" No, these are my coins! Ah! Bowl over from Mario Party 2. Alright, from here on out, the minigames are a lot more balanced than they were in the first Mario Party. And we're starting off with Bowl Over 2, which does come from the first game, but with a lot more tweaks to balance out the gameplay. This time around, getting knocked down by the Koopa Shell does not mean you lose 5 coins, thankfully. And now, in order for the one player to win, they have to knock down all 3 character pins. They do have 2 turns to try to make this happen, and I do find that jumping over the shell is a lot easier to do in this one than it was in the first one. I'm gonna say this one is way more balanced, right down the middle.
Right down the middle. Right down the middle.
Crane Game. Now, this iteration of Crane Game is a lot more balanced than the first one. This time around, the one player does have to pick up all 3 of the other characters in a strict time limit, but thankfully they can pick up the timer clocks to give them more time. In fact, usually when you're starting this, you are going to go for that 30-second and 20-second increase. And this time, you have to out-button mash all 3 of your opponents. I feel like still that they do give a little advantage to the single player. I don't know. I feel like sometimes, I don't know, like their button inputs are probably a little bit more than like the other people's. That's, again, something I don't have like the research knowledge of, so I can't really tell you for certain just how I feel. But, I mean, they are having the out button mash 3 people, and I feel like the fatigue does set in for that. So, I would say this one is very balanced. Move to the music. In this one, the team of 3 has to copy the sick dance moves that the other player decides to come up with, either using A, B, Z, or the 4 directions. This one, it's like, it should be easy, right? But they split up the dance moves along all 3 people, and it just throws me off when I'm having to copy, because I'm like, oh, don't do the second one, do the 4th one, though. And it throws me off. And then additionally, a lot of people always fail to know this, and every time I play with friends, I always point this out. If the single player decides to just sit there and do nothing for one of the notes, you have to make up your own dance move as the team of 3. Like, you have to do something. And I think that does confuse a lot of people playing this. They don't realize that. I think this one, even though it's just like Mario Bandstand and stuff like that, it's simple. I think just, you know, having to miss certain steps confuses a lot of people that I do see the single person winning this more often. So I'm going to give this one slightly to the 1. Bomb Barrage. In this one, the team of 3 are flicking bombs like a booger, trying to hit one into the boat of the single player. And if they get just a single bomb in there, the game is over. This one, I don't know, it is very tough to flick them. You do have to be very precise with the control stick. But I've also seen times where this game will just end literally in the first 3 seconds. Sometimes the person moving the boat just happens to be in the right spot where the other person throws a bomb. So for this one, I will say it's pretty balanced. Now, if you're playing this on the original hardware, it's easy to flick the bombs. If you are playing this on like the NSO using anything that's not an N64 controller, it is so much harder to be more precise with the bombs. We tried it out, and like all they do is just get sent flying across the map. So this one, it's only balanced if you're taking in the account of using the N64 controllers. Look away. Sorry, it's just so infectious. I love that song. This one's a very fair minigame. Team of 3 is trying to look away from the one player, hoping that they don't look in the same direction. They have 5 rounds to survive. The one player can knock out more than one person at a time, depending on how lucky they get. There's 4 directions, including a stationary direction for a total of 5 different places that you can like look. And so this one's, I feel like, is a very fair, balanced game. As long as like the 3 players don't communicate, because like especially when they get to the last one and there's at least 2 people alive, then yeah, they can just plan and say, oh, you look that direction, I'll look this direction, and we win. But I'm gonna go ahead and say this one's pretty fair. Quicksand Cache. Quicksand Cache is a coin gathering mini game where the one player is in the middle of a quicksand pit, controlling the rotation of the quicksand, while the other 3 players are scrambling to survive and not fall into the middle of the pit, or else they're out of the minigame completely, all while trying to collect coins that are falling downwards, going towards the center of the pit. This one, again, it's the team of 3 is not actually working together, although they did fix this in the Superstars version, which I think is a lot better. So once again, it's every man for himself, and if the player in the middle can just get rid of everyone else and they die, then for the rest of the minigame, they're just sitting there collecting coins for free. So yeah, this one I will say is a little more in favor towards the 1. Also, once again, the player in the middle is in a Bowser suit. Why are they always in a Bowser suit? I have no idea. Archer Rivals. Now this one kind of depends if you have computer players or not on the team of 3, because if so, they will really screw you over. But in this one, the team of 3 is trying to avoid getting shot down by an arrow by the single player. Single player does have the advantage of choosing whether or not to go after the other characters like Toad or Boo or whatever is presented to get a few extra coins or not. And if they don't go after him, it kind of leaves like a little space to block the other characters. So I think this one's kind of fair. You can juke out the archer. I've definitely seen the archer win a little bit more, but I think the team of 3 does have a chance if and only if the computer characters cooperate with them. But I think at the end of the day, I still will give this slight advantage to the one player. Filet Relay. Oh, look at those little baby penguins. They're so hungry. Let's bring them a fish. In Filet Relay, we're racing to see who can bring a fish to the baby penguins first. The team of 3 takes turns passing the fish along while the single player is just scrambling by themselves. Now, this one I've gone back and forth with. We've actually tested this out multiple times trying to see. The team of 3, I feel like runs a little faster than the single player. I think the single player speed is capped at a certain point. I have no idea if that is fact or not, but that's what it feels like to me. And maybe that makes sense because the team of 3 does have to waste like a couple of seconds doing a little cutscene while they like pass the fish to the other teammate, while the other person can just keep going the whole time. It's really a race to see who can get to the middle point first, because usually that's what determines who's gonna win this race most of the time. Because if you run into the back of someone else, you go sliding back, and which is also really annoying if you're the single player behind the other team, because if they're passing the fish around, you got to make sure not to run into any of those 2 team members, or else you just get sent flying back. So yeah, usually I do see the team of 3 win this, so I'm gonna give this slightly in favor to the 3. Lights Out. In this minigame, the single player must not be afraid of the dark, because they're going around with a hammer smashing light bulbs out of the hands of the other 3 players, who have to run around for 30 seconds and survive. Every time the lights will flicker on and off, only the ones with the light bulb will be illuminated so you can see where they're at. The single player has to navigate in the dark, but this one's so easy for them, especially because every time they knock someone out, their body is just laying around taking up space that might get in the way of the other people that are trying to survive. So giving this one to the 1. Shock, drop, or roll. One team is controlling the cylinder that's rotating and spinning, while the other team is on the cylinder, having to survive for 30 whole seconds. This one is so hard for the team of 3 to win, I find. Sometimes you do get lucky and you get that one annoying computer that comes in clutch, but like you're trying to read the mind of your friend, and it's so finicky sometimes that they're just always dying. In fact, when we were recording this, every single time we were playing, people were just dying left and right at the start. This one is definitely going towards the 1. Rainbow Run. Yeah, this is just a carbon copy of Tightrope Treachery, so we're giving it the same ranking. Moving on. Coconut Conk. In this minigame, the 1 player is in a barrel trying to move around, surviving, while the other 3 are trying to hit them in the head with the coconut. They have to ground pound on the tree to drop a coconut. This one's so hard on this team of 3 sometimes, because honestly, your teammates just get in your way. Especially when you have a computer, they'll just jump on your head or not ground pound right over the person in the barrel. Oh god, but still, I will go ahead and put it in the middle. Spotlight Swim. The 1 player is swimming in a pool and can only go underwater for a few seconds to hide from the other 3 who have to shine all of their spotlights on the 1 player in order to catch them and end the game. Yeah, as long as you don't have a computer player and you have 3 competent humans, the team of 3 will win this pretty much every single time. So I'm giving this one to the team of 3 always. Boulder Ball. The team of 3 are going up a steep incline, dodging balls that the other person is launching. This one, it's kind of tricky for both sides. The team of 3, they just have to watch as the balls ricochet off the walls and predict where it's going to go while they're trying to go up. You can't really move easily left and right without losing your height that you've gone up so far, so usually you want to go in a straight line. The other person can't really aim well to hit someone, although when they get closer to the top, yeah, they're able to easily knock them down. It really depends on the skill level of the 3 people playing, but I would say, you know, if they work together well, they'll probably take this more often than the 1 player, so I'm going to give this one slightly to the team of 3. Crazy Cogs! In this minigame, the team of 3 are on a giant cog that the 1 player gets to choose the rotation that it's going on, and they're trying to survive the whole time while random bullet bills are just falling down upon them. If they're all out, the 1 player wins. I feel like this one usually is tricky to win as a team of 3, because you never know where the bullet bills are going to come from. They could spawn in like 1 second, you have time to like move out the way, and usually you're just not going to be able to react quick enough. So I'm going to give this one slightly to the 1. Hide and Sneak. This one's a guessing minigame, as the team of 3 are on a stage for 3 rounds, just hiding behind random objects. In each round, the 1 player has to reveal that object, hoping that there's 1 or even more of the team of 3 hiding behind it to eliminate them. This one, again, it kind of just goes both ways, so I'm going to put this one in the middle. River Raiders. This one's a coin collecting minigame where the 1 player is controlling a little boat that's driving down a river where coins are scattered. They can move the boat left and right to try to pick up coins, coin bags, but also they have to avoid logs, otherwise they'll get hit, have some iframes, but they cannot pick up anything along that time. The other 3 people are trailing behind, and can you believe it? They're actually working together for once, because all the coins they each pick up are pulled together and they get that total share of the pie. So that is great. This one does kind of depend on 2 factors. The first is how random the coins are, because it's different every single time you play. The other factor is the driver, so the 1 player. Are they able to think quickly in time, maneuver around the logs, pick up the coin bags? Usually they could make out well if you're good at that. If you're not good, then you're going to see the team of 3 get this. In my opinion, though, if I'm the one piloting and the boat and all that, I would say this is more in favor towards the 1. But if it's not me, it's just one of my regular friends, usually, yeah, the team of 3 is picking up the most. But I'm going to put this one, in my opinion, slightly in favor towards the 1. Title Toss. The 1 player is in the middle of the arena, trying to make waves. They can either do small, medium, or large waves, while the other 3 are just trying to jump over those waves, not get pushed off the edge of the map. This one is so easy for the team of 3, because something that you can easily do is move forward, move closer to the center. You get knocked back, you just keep moving forward, like Meet the Robinsons. Especially because like the bigger waves will push you back considerably, but the smaller waves will not really move you. They will stun you, and you get iframes. That's right, you get iframes to just keep moving forward. So yeah, it's really hard for the single person to win, especially if I'm playing against them. Hand, line, and sinker. Ooh yeah, it's time to go fishing. But we're fishing human characters? Dinosaurs and monkeys? Yeah, I don't know who crossbred these characters with fish, but this is what we got. In this minigame, the one player is trying to fish the other 3 characters out the pond, and the other 3 are just trying to survive until the time limit is over. There's a lot of time to survive on this one, but it is pretty easy. The controls for the one player is a little finicky and tricky, if you're not used to it, that is. But it is very easy to just get in a rhythm for the 3 players to avoid getting caught. Usually, you just kind of like wait, see where they're going to cast, and then you just, if you have to adjust your movement, you move accordingly. Usually you want to stay in the middle of this. When I'm the one playing the 3, usually we do win. I would say this is more catered to the team of 3, but there's a lot of room for error. You can easily mess up, and you are having to wait so long, because this is a very long amount of time you have to wait. But I will give this one slightly to the team of 3. Ridiculous relay. Yo, this one really do be ridiculous though, because the odds are stacked against the team of 3. In this minigame, it's a race to the finish. The one player's in a paraglider moving up and down, dodging paragoombas and bullet bills, while the team of 3 each has their own task. One has to button mash the A button, one has to repeatedly button mash B and A, while the other controls this really weird water spider, where their movements are doing up A, up B, down B. Now, if you ask the average person, yes, they will hate the spider, they struggle with it. Me personally, I actually love the spider. When I'm the team of 3, I'm like begging RNG to give me the spider, because I'm pretty good at it. Yes, I do mess up, but yeah, so whenever the team of 3 is trying to figure out the controls on that, or if they have someone that's not good at button mashing, it's already bad enough. And even if the one player gets hit so many times, I swear they're so fast that they still take the win at the end. So yeah, this one is more in favor towards the one player. Thwomp Pool. This is a race where each team is in a sleigh being pulled by thwomps. The team of 3 each have a single thwomp they're controlling with a designated button, while the single player is having to push 3 different buttons depending on which one pops up. And if someone pushes the wrong button, it does slow them down. I feel like this one is pretty balanced. It's very hard for the team of 3 to coordinate sometimes. If someone's got that trigger finger. Meanwhile, the other person, you know, they're having to think of 3 different buttons. You have to wait for the prompt to come up, so you don't even know what to expect, so you can also mess that up. There's also these giant blizzards, Mr. Blizzards, that will throw snowballs, and if you get hit by it, you get stunned, so depending on where you're at along the track, it depends if you're going to get hit or not. Usually this goes both ways, so this one is going to the middle. And there you have it. Every single Nintendo 64 Mario Party 1v3 minigames ranks. Let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree with some of my rankings. Maybe your skill level differs from mine and certain minigames are easier one way than what I would think. I would like to know that. Thank you all so much for watching this, and please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. Also, if you guys don't mind, check out the video I posted before this. There's more details there, but pretty much we're going to be doing a charity stream on August 7th through August 9th called Mario Party Marathon, benefiting for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. It's for a great cause. We're playing through every single Mario Party mini game throughout the entire series and other stuff. It's going to be really fun, so please come check that out and maybe spread the news to other people, other Mario Party enthusiasts. Maybe they would enjoy that. And if you guys did like this content, let me know as well in the comments. If you guys would like, I'll continue through the Mario Party series and I'll rank the 1v3s for the other ones. We could do some of the GameCube ones next, like 4 and 5 together. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Goodbye!